Welcome to Coffee and Connections at the library. I'm Cindy Scott, the library director, and I'm afraid I don't have my sign today because we're working on so many projects it's gotten buried in one of the many piles that we have. I have with me today Lynn Clow and Helen Gallagher, who are library technicians. And one of the things that they do, besides processing material into the collections, is they also do the majority of the purchasing and selecting of the books, both audio and physical, for the adult collection. So they're going to talk a little bit about the kinds of things that we're buying this summer. I've had a few questions from people about what services the library is doing and what services we've cut back on. And some people seem to think we're not buying books, but we are still buying all of our books, especially the fiction that is so popular in the summer. But I think that we're gonna start talking about the fiction first, right?
Yes, we definitely are buying all of your favorites. We have also some new authors, and we do our fun beach read. So my examples are, we have the latest Clive Cussler that we just received yesterday, as well as the latest James Patterson. So those kind of books are examples of favorite authors that we automatically get and we're continuing to get.
And I have, this is definitely a beach read, a book by Susan Mallory called The Summer of Sunshine and Margot, the latest from Rita Mae Brown, who writes the cat mystery books that are very popular. And another one is this new book by the author of the Chilbury Ladies Choir that's called The Spies of Shilling Lane. I think it'll be really popular. People are so interested in World War II.
We get sometimes multiple copies of the books that have waiting lists. That hasn't changed while we're under construction. Some of the services have been cut back a little bit. For instance, we're still doing programming. We're just moving some of the programs off-site, and also some programming that we would normally do during the summer we are not doing, but we are increasing the number of programs for children this summer. So be sure to check out what exactly is going on and what we are getting at the library. But we are not just getting the fiction, new fiction, we're also getting new nonfiction. And last month we emphasized some of the summer reads, the fiction summer reads, but this month we're emphasizing some of the new nonfiction reads that we're recommending to people.
And the way we go about deciding on nonfiction, which is a little bit more detailed, is we look at the New York Times bestseller list, and we also looked on different websites for notable books, authors who are prestigious, and different books on topics that we know are topics that are of interest to everyone. So, for example, we really focus on health, the changing idea of what a cookbook is, the historical battles, since we know a lot of World War II. There's a lot of interest in World War II as well as anniversaries this year. Different inventions, explorations, different discoveries in science, and biographies, just to mention a few. And as we go through, we just wanted to bring a couple of books to your attention that we are just putting out actually today as soon as this program is over. So one that's interesting is a book by Ruth Kassinger called Slime, and it actually talks about algae and how algae is important, has been important throughout history, and how it really is important to us as living beings. The other area that is very popular would be anything with battles or wars or individual heroes, which of course also goes into biographies. But for example, this book is by Hampton Sides, and it's called On Desperate Ground, and it's about the Korean War and an important battle that the Marines fought in the Korean War. And then my third one is a book about vegetables, Vegetables Unleashed. And this is an example of how cookbooks have changed. This is not only about recipes for vegetables, but why we should eat vegetables and how you can actually enjoy eating vegetables even if you're a little reluctant.
What we're finding is that some of the usage has changed, of course, with the internet, but that doesn't mean it's been eliminated completely. both of these types of access, whether it's ebooks or online access to recipes or cookbooks, they're just being used slightly differently.
Absolutely, yeah.
And a lot of people skim through cookbooks, or they're looking for a little more depth on the subject as far as background or history or culture. So it's been an interesting process.
I think some people look at cookbooks like they look at a magazine.
Exactly.
And then get excited about trying one that catches their eye. Some of the nonfiction I have here is this book by John Gertner, which is timely, called The Ice at the End of the World. And it's talking about the many scientific experiments that they're doing in Greenland, both above the ice and below the ice, to try and understand what is going on before it's too late. Because the ice sheet in Greenland is melting at an alarming rate. Another book that people might find really interesting, this seems to be a new trend, is Traveling with a Purpose. And it's about voluntourism and how you can travel to different countries but get involved with a worthy cause. And this is especially interesting and popular. This Elderhood by Louise Aronson deals with aging and medicines and how to live your life as we age. And another book that came in recently is called Nanaville by Anna Quinlan, who's a popular author, about being a grandparent.
So another resource that we have, if there's something that used to be in the collection and perhaps is being stored right now, because we have stored a portion of the collection that is older material that we don't have access to right at the moment, but we do a very active interlibrary loan service. We get deliveries 3 days per week, and there's a van that goes around the state moving the books between all of the libraries in the state. So Helen, could you just talk a little bit about what the service is? And it's just a way for us to make sure that we can get people connected to the materials and information they want.
Absolutely. So if there's a particular author you like, and we might have, like James Patterson, who writes, so many, with so many partners and writes so many books, we might not have every single book that James Patterson has written. So we can, if the book is usually the guide is it has to be 6 months or older. New books, just as we don't usually loan our new books because we want them for our patrons, other libraries, 6 to 9 months seems to be right around the range where libraries will loan the book. So if you have a book that you're interested in reading and we don't have it, and if it's a little bit older, as I said, 6 months or more, we can request it from another library. So it just is a very simple, we have a little form you fill out, and the libraries are very responsive. Everyone wants to get their books read, and they want people to enjoy reading. So I think it's a very popular service. And this goes for fiction and nonfiction. We definitely order a lot of nonfiction because we can't have everything. And so please, see us if there's something that you think, you might like. A lot of our patrons like to read every single book written by an author, and they want to start from the beginning, go to the end. And this includes CDs too. We can also borrow CDs and movies. Some libraries are a little bit more hesitant because movies are delicate, but they will loan DVDs if they're a little bit older. So we can do different areas. If we don't have it and another library might have it, we can request it.
We also are interested in having people request materials that they're interested in. We have a form that you can fill out, or you can send us an email, and we'll see if it's something that we have some things that come automatically. Certain popular authors come automatically, but there are also things that we can generally purchase. So just let us know what you're interested in, and we'll try to connect you with the information that you want. Any final comments?
With the popular authors, we do have a wait list. A lot of people will hear that a new book is coming out by their favorite author, and like say David Baldacci, and they want to get on the list long before it ever comes in here. So we do that too.
And we also have 7-day books that you can't reserve, that you can borrow for some of the popular authors as well.
And right, and just so you know, for this summer, we're trying to increase our 7-day books, so if you just happen to drop by the library and see, oh, I'd really love to read that author, you definitely can do it, but you only have a week. So it's a kind of a quick turnaround, but it's so that it can get out to as many people as possible.
Thank you. So as part of Coffee and Connections, we're going to try to give you an update on what's happening on the project. And right now, what we've got going on is we're in the new entrance area. And as you can see, the windows are now going in, and the next thing is to put the new doorway in. And we're also having work continuing on this whole section of the library project. Progress is being made on the restrooms here along this corridor. As you can see, now we have the flooring in, and it's all painted, and the next thing to happen is to get all of the units inside of there so that it'll be operational when we move into this section of the building. Now we're looking towards South Main Street inside the new addition, and you can see that they're very busy working on the ceiling and the electrical outlets being installed, as well as the data port. Once that's completed, then we'll be working on getting the walls up. Out here you can see the trim going on the building, and it's starting to really take shape and show what it's going to look like when it's completed. A lot of questions have come up about how much bigger the library is than the original building, and this is about a 50% increase in the size of the building. The other aspect to look at is these are very energy efficient windows. We've also added extra insulation in the walls, and these things together are going to help us head toward a net zero building. As well, we have the solar tubes on top of the library, which will add natural lighting, so we'll be able to use the electric lighting less. So with the help of the foundation and the donors who gave toward the energy fund, we're able to really improve the efficiency of the library. So that gives you a little bit of a tour. It's difficult today to walk around everywhere where they're working because there's so many projects going on within the building. But hopefully next month we'll be able to do a more thorough tour for you. And thank you very much.